Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Rally Cry halftime show. We are here after a third win in a row for the qualifier teams in the Spring 2023 promotion tournament. What's going on, guys? There's just something in the water today.
There absolutely is. It's actually been incredible because it's not just some willy-nilly, oh, it's crazy how it's happening. No, it's been decisive. It's been incredible how they've approached the map states and especially the kind of directed compositions and strength that they've had across the day.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, even yesterday, too. I mean, if you count yesterday, this is the 5th win in a row for qualifier teams in this event. And, I mean, I don't really know what to say about that. I'm very impressed with my boys over the qualifiers. You know, coming from the cast over there, you'd think that I'd be the one who'd believed in them the most, but I was pretty skeptical.
Yeah, I mean, we all were, right? Like, we saw the caster ratings at the beginning of the day. A lot of us were skeptical about most of our qualifier teams, and so far they're showing up, which all I'm going to say is yesterday, not all the qualifier teams won because we only had Ravish on the broadcast. Now, leave it at that.
Leave it at that. That's all I gotta say. Results-based analysis.
One qualifier caster equals one qualifier team winning.
Yes.
2 qualifier casters. Let's see, Team Fish Taco. Let's see if we can keep the narrative going.
For sure.
Some simple math. All right, well, that's enough chit-chat about the game. We're going to be watching some clips from the game here in our halftime show game that we're about to play. But before we get into the game, I have a question for my 2 casters here. Would you consider yourselves to be musically gifted?
Oh, God.
Gifted? No. I've tried.
I did musical theater in high school. That's as far as that's going to go for all 4 years.
Okay. Does the musical theater background help you in perhaps freestyle verses?
Oh, no. I'm so awful. God. I suck at freestyle, bro. There's no way this is not going to work.
Well, this is interesting.
My worst nightmare is what you're about to do now. Like, I'm not joking.
Actually,
I'm literally not joking.
Well, this will be fun then. Because we're about to get into the caster rap battle for the halftime show. I'm about to show the two of you.
I'm having issues with my internet.
I think I'm actually cutting out, guys. I'm cutting out, guys.
I'm about to show the two of you some clips from that last game, and I'm going to need the two of you to give me your best freestyle verses. Just explaining what's going on, or anything that comes to mind for you as we play these clips.
Max. I literally can't. I have such a mind block when it comes to like literally running into a wall.
That's okay, because Dimitri's gonna go first. Dimitri, take it away with clip number 1.
This is the worst 6 minutes of my life. Okay, Taco, Harold, going for things. This is awful. Why would we do this? Wait,
I can't. I'm gonna be the exact same.
To the bench.
I'm literally gonna be the exact same.
Oh man. Okay, good. I set it up. I inted so that Mazel could actually blow us out of the park.
I'm literally rhymes don't go together in my head.
It doesn't have to rhyme. Just make it like a spoken word poem.
You're a play-by-play. What do you mean? Your entire job is spoken word.
Yeah, there you go.
I see in front of my face. All right.
Come on, guys.
All right,
we can do this.
Let's try to figure this out. Let's try to figure this out.
All right, let's try this clip again. This is still the same one. Dimitri, take it away.
Oh. City Witty in places he should not. Elise, not the biggest friend of Harold. And unfortunately, the Team Fish Taco is the animal to rule the day.
Wow. This game has taken a turn that I did not expect, but I appreciate the effort that you've put in for this clip. This is wonderful. We may need to.
This is a caster Sag battle, not a caster rap battle.
Yeah, we may need to change the name to something else, but we've got another clip here.
If we can load up, Captain.
If we can load up clip number 2 for my good friend Mazel, let's get it going.
All right, Daption on the maption.
Okay.
Fish, Taco, red equals dead. Alorum, Poglorum.
Keep going.
Taco,
you got this. Come on.
Got the macro. No, it doesn't work.
Yes, it does. No, keep going.
Is adorable. Nope, that didn't work.
Beautiful.
That's better than mine.
Snaps. All right, well, you know what? You've got a chance to redeem yourself, Dimitri. You can fire back.
Goodness.
Wait, we're doing the same clip?
Like nails on chalkboard.
No.
Okay, thank God.
We've got more. All right, Dimitri, We got
right.
clip number 3 for you.
Provisional or qualifier teams and Barons. What else can I say? Team Fish Taco, they've made my day. As a qualifier caster, I can only shout in excitement for our teams winning these bouts. Salute for
like a nighttime story.
Salute
Yeah,
for
this is
Mia.
good.
I enjoyed the play, but unfortunately, it is time for Team Fish Taco's day. There we go. Much better.
Wow. Wonderful. All right. That's the best one so
Voice
far.
of applause. That is the best.
That's the best one so
It's
far.
gonna get better from here. I'm telling you that right now.
I'd be, Mazel, be not afraid of the inner creativity.
I'm just gonna look up some
Some rhymes?
rhyme. I'm just gonna start
Yeah, get rhyme zone up on another monitor. All right. Well, this one we just watched, and you had a nice play-by-play call. Let's see if you can take it a different spin. You know.
And then I'm gonna ruin it with this. All right, let's get it. Taco, taco. Oh, where art thou, taco? You win the game. You know the name. It's Team Fish Taco. Mako Mako. I don't know what that means.
It's a dolphin.
You've gotta win the game.
A Mako shark. That counts.
No, it's a Mako shark. You don't even do that. Can't even. That's what I was like going for. And then it came out Mako. Like, oh, that's what we're going for.
All I'm gonna say is I don't think I'm gonna be able to top that, and I'm definitely not going to be able to do iambic pentameter. So let's.
Ooh.
Hopefully we're done with the rap battles for now.
Well, that was the last clip of the game. I did only get 2 for each of you.
One.
Yeah. What?
Well,
what is
you know
this?
what? You're gonna have to take it up with whoever's hosting on Saturday, because
my
that's the day that I'm on. let's see if they can put one together, and then
Actually, Shakespeare.
can get your revenge on me that day. But yeah, big round of applause to my 2 casters here for giving it your best shot.
That was
I did
very
spring
fun.
it on you.
That was very fun.
I'm glad it was fun. It was very fun for me, but I'm glad it was very fun for you.
I'm
as
hoping
well.
the audience got some Keck W's, maybe.
Yeah, there's gonna be some really bad rhyming clips that will be on display after that. So,
Yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I also loved Team Fish Taco's performance. We got a little bit of time before the draft, I believe, so we can talk a bit more about that game real quick, because we did see it in a few of those clips. First and foremost, the one clip that I really wanted to get, but I couldn't because it was too short, was the Daption hook cancel thing.
All of them. Every Daption hook cancel.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that was nuts. I'm glad for Daption because he's been someone who last year didn't necessarily have the best year, but so far, I mean, mechanically speaking, he's looking pretty good.
I've seen that 1,000 times. I've never seen it with a wall in
over
between.
the wall.
It's a straight line. I mean,
Yeah.
It was incredible.
It takes a special play to make Nautilus look cool for me. I hate that champion, but that was definitely one of them. I am getting word that the draft is in fact ready. Again, congratulations on Team Fish Taco for winning that game. I'm really looking forward to seeing if they can take it a 2-0. Was really not expecting this from the qualifier teams, but they are showing up in a big way. You two, take it away. Have fun in the draft. We're getting into game 2.
Thank you so much, Summer. And what can we say? The stage is set. The spotlight is on these developing players. And what a time to come alive for Taco. We will not see a change-up of sides. So we'll see if any draft adaptations come through for our game number 2 with Team Liquid first, looking at a potential put down into the bottom bracket. We will see the continued bans of that Kindred, the Karthus, also banning towards City Witty. We get the Vi and the Varus ban from TLF.
Both teams know what they want. They want to get rid of these certainties. They do not want to see red on Varus, a champion that he has found so much success on during the qualifiers. And again, Taco, they don't want to have to play against Surdy's Gwen.
Yeah.
They know that our top lane matchups are going to almost exclusively all be AD bruisers. Specifically, I think if we are going to see that Gwen matchup, it would have been with an Urgot. But they do not want to go for it. And especially if we haven't changed sides, why change anything else?
Yeah. I mean, hey, they also played with a little bit of that, if they're going to go with that flexibility of the Gragas. It is
Salty run back?
the lock-in of the Maokai and the Tristana.
Are they going to actually do the salty run back, Lennon? Do you think we're getting the 100%
execution.
copy?
Maybe that's what they're thinking.
Yeah. I mean, either way, I think it'd be really fun. We'll see if there is any adaptations, but yet again, we're getting that Tristana flex here, and if this is going over to Aspect, I am expecting them to kind of change up the matchup a little bit. there is obviously
There's
a
the
Maokai.
Robbie classic cover, you know, back in the day. Robbie Bob fans, Boberts.
I miss Robbie Bob Zed. It's an absolute treat whenever you are able to experience it. But the Maokai coming through here, potentially going to be for City just to control the river. I think this is much more in line with what we saw from them in general.
This could be real. No. Okay.
No.
I was just saying, because, you know, with Gragas in the jungle, you have all that AP, but that Thresh isn't banned in first phase. It's typically banned in the second phase. It does make it through.
So some safety for Red on this Jinx. So thumbs up, looking a little bit better. I don't think he'll be able to make the same Nautilus plays because he's on a Zephyr champion this time. So maybe Daption does actually end up going down. I actually still would like a Blitzcrank here from the side of TLF. I think it still works, and especially if now that the Nautilus is no longer available for them, this is something that you can punish the Thresh. Just hook him. Yeah. Just get rid of him.
The thing that I'm seeing right now is that TLF said it wasn't necessarily the outer portions. It was the fact that Elise was in the game and wasn't able to find a big lead, right?
That's it. Elise was in the game. That's it.
We saw that City Witty was trying so hard, but on the Maokai, you have more safety in knowing that even if you don't get those early ganks, you still have a lot of utility when you're approaching objectives, things like that. So I actually really like this. I wonder if they changed it up in the second half a little bit, maybe give Surdy a little bit of something different. But I do like the obvious Rovex target of the Blitzcrank ban. It is the Malphite and the Yasuo ban by TLF.
Now I wonder here, with the Malphite ban, are they trying to set up for a... obviously they have the double marksman and there's a lot of value. Lauren would love to play Malphite in this situation, but maybe they're setting up for something like a Camille. Maybe they're setting up for something like a Jax potentially here. And we get it. We finally get it, Mazel. We have Surdy counter pick, please. Thank you. Yes, more.
I do like the Nautilus here, though, obviously for Rovex. The Blitzcrank not available, but you still have that very engage heavy support coming through here. A lot of the setup for the double marksman composition. Now we're looking at what the last two picks will be for Taco. Expect a little bit of something late game potential for Robbie Bob in the mid lane, and then what they want to put this Gragas into. And it's looking actually like we'll get that flexibility come through in the second game where the Wukong is locked in. That was banned away in second phase last time.
Exactly, and Lorem was one of the few people in 2021, if I'm correct, to play Wukong top lane. He was constantly wanting to flex it around. This is something that they can't try. We have not seen Wukong from a Lorem, and Wukong is nerfed on this patch, so it's almost 100% going over to Dardoch. But now here for TLF, it's time to call their bluff, saying, look, we've got our mid matchup, which now with Victor locked in, TLF have a lot of options in the early game. Aphelios early on has pushed, he can go ahead and try to poke out the Jinx using Calibrum, and then you're looking at Tristana, who has early kill pressure versus this Victor. And again,
is that locked in?
I don't want to see it. I'm just gonna block it from my memory, please.
All right, it's the Cassante locked in for TLF. We'll see if they can run it back. Some different adaptations, though. The Maokai does provide a lot more stability. You also have the Nautilus this time around instead of the Blitzcrank, but again, responded to with this very interesting setup comp from Taco, who are definitely opting into the late game here.
Well, now they're missing a lot of AP, so I'm wondering if City Witty is actually going to be going for that AP Maokai build that was nerfed so long ago, and people have really started to move away from it. I know there's also like a Moonstone build that's kind of floating around, but again, they're lacking a lot in magic damage, and that just means that Lorem, Wukong building up that armor is very easy for these champions, especially for Wukong's passive. So come late into the game, they're gonna have to be up a few turrets. We're gonna see how they play on the map, because there were a couple bits there where TLF, they were making good moves, but the execution just wasn't quite there.
Yeah, and that's the biggest conversation coming into this one. We have TLF, who liked what they had in terms of a general structure of their composition. Now they've reassured themselves with this Maokai, with this Nautilus pick. We'll see if they can find any promise here as we get a little bit of shout out from Kai to Alpha Battery.
I'm pretty sure he's working right now, so I appreciate it. He's a very big fan of yours, so
Big fan, Kai.
Big fan of Kai. Doing big things over there. But yeah.
And I love to see kind of the moments here, at least when we've seen Taco perform so well already in game number one. When we've seen Team Tony top take a 2-0 earlier in the day. It just feels like momentum is running, and these teams are taking advantage of it. We've already talked so heavily about how Taco were approaching this game particularly, but now it's about the response from TLF and how they want to kind of play this one out. Again, the double ADC composition, trying to find that promised land at the late game.
I would love to see Taco win as a qualifier broadcast talent.
No bias.
See it happen. No bias. However, we're only a minute and a half in the game. Okay, we got to hold out. I would think as the Challengers League guy, you'd be upping some TLF on here. And
I'm excited for the change up here.
Yeah.
The thing is though that it's about how they set up around these double ADCs. I love the off back into, because I think when you're building off of a game number 1 like that, you saw some of the positives and the fact that Aspect was having heavy trades. You had Mia, who was set up to do a lot of damage, and it's just about honing that. So getting another crack at that is so big to me.
For sure. And it was funny, when I was still talking to funnily enough, with Daption, I was like, is there anything like you guys have specifically like prepped for? And we have prepped for City Witty and Loping. Because this guy Daption in particular really thinks highly of City Witty, like potentially as the best player in this entire match out of the 10 players, saying he has good hands, he has an insanely good mental, and this guy is going to be really good if we get him on lower pings. So the fact that we get to see that from City, I think, should be very exciting. We still need to kind of see the fruits, bear the fruits of that labor.
Some of those fruits are the fact that he always has consistent bans against him, because he does get some of those champions. It is actually insane what he can accomplish with them. The Karthus, obviously the Kindred were the big ones, but it really has been a structure of growth for City Witty over an entire split, where he went from feeling like he needed to play a lot of those comfort champions to opting into matches like this, willing to go to some aggressive moments, dip his toes in the water with early parts of best ofs and see if he can go with an aggressive jungler, but willing to go to those facilitators, willing to go to stuff that enables the rest of his team.
And it's a reason why, when you look at the stats, City Witty is insane. Like, he is first in terms of... Oh, Rovex was trying to copy Daption there. I like that. There's a reason why this guy, in terms of damage percentage for his team, he is one of the highest. Is Dardoch trying to make plays. I did want to touch on the fact that the bot lanes are fighting for HP advantages, because both junglers are starting to path down here. City Witty's on his way, and now Dardoch has already shown his face, but taking this Raptor camp, and it is on Vision, they should know that they can play with some relative safety around the bot lane.
And I love it because, we're talking so much about City Witty, and gets to go up against Dardoch, who in his own right has a lot backing his name in the history of his career, right? But also just kind of the duality of what he's done to come into this situation now. And there we have the Delphi tweet that shares the name of Taco and a little bit of the workings within.
Team Fish Tom, whatever. I hope both these teams have fun. Real. Delphi always has the realest tweets, especially for NACL. But now we're getting a bit of a lull here. I mean, Victor got in a recall. This wave is pushing away from him, so I wonder if Robbie Bob... Okay, he's going to invest the teleport. I think if you are playing against Tristana, there is an argument to be made that, hey, you can just come back and you should be pretty fine. But right now, it seems like City Witty is going to be going for this topside scuttle, and Dardoch, with him getting the bot side, I thought he was going to go for a lane gank here. There's a position here where they let the wave come back into them, but they just want to get their recalls in.
Aspect going to take a pretty heavy trade. It will respond a little bit with that explosive charge. But again, like you said, I'm wondering where this proactivity comes from, if any at all. Because again, I feel like both teams are perfectly fine with an easy lane state, right? And it was interesting when I was talking to Robbie Bob, and he was like, last time I faced off against Aspect, it was literally 2 games. We farmed for 30 minutes apiece. We won a game apiece, and we walked away from the situation. And I'm feeling those kinds of vibes in this one, and it feels like after that first game, that is where TLF are kind of residing.
Both of these guys are excellent role players. Like, when their team needs them to play a control mage and just be stable laners, it's what you want to see. As I mean, now they're in kind of different spots, right? Like different trajectories in terms of their career. Robbie Bob coming off of a collegiate title win and trying to repeat that performance, and obviously some good performances that we saw from him in the regular season for EGC. But Aspect, he was gone. Like, this guy went from being like a top 5 mid laner, like playing pretty well, being a really good facilitator for the rest of his team with Tomio and the like on EGP, to kind of just fading, kind of doing whatever he wanted, doing, you know, getting back to IRL stuff. And now that he's back, it has been a bit of a tumultuous ride, but it is now that he needs to really step up to make sure that his team is able to make promotion.
Yeah, and I love that we get the Tristana pickup as well as, and just that opt-in to the aggression. Now, see the Destin has popped up, but the Dragon have been started up by Dardoch and Taco.
Okay, I mean, they're just going to grab the early Dragon here, which is a little problematic for TLF, as they really wanted to try to utilize the early game push from mid lane or potentially trading very heavily in bot lane. Citywitty, if you make this steal, oh, please do it. I want to see it. Walking over Honeyfruit's a little more questionable.
Yeah, it should be the opt-in though. Robbie Bob had the priority in mid lane. Yeah, Daption roam up, and that'll be Dragon going over to Taco. Let's get a little bit of spice here. Actually, all right.
City.
And he doesn't get it. It's going to be Dardoch securing it. And first blood for Taco. Is now the re-engage with a huge dark passive, but that explosive charge will get Aspect to kill right back. We got the Graviton for Mia. That's flash early from Red. And lock him down here, trying to set up the dredge line, but Red wants to go around the corner. The other side, dredge line, or actually the death sentence rather, connects on to Aspect. Aspect doesn't go down, but Red goes down to Mia. Oh. And a huge tussle early ends up with TL first at 2-1.
They're getting some kills there. I mean, Citywitty sent it for the boys. He wanted to make sure that they got the Dragon. Ends up missing out on the smite there, but let's take a look at this again. I mean, there are some really cool plays. Again, specifically Daption here, able to save Dardoch, at least for the time being. A really good hook to find that pick onto Citywitty. And while Aspect isn't able to contribute all that much to this fight, finding that kill with the Ignite and the explosive bomb is really nice. But there's no, you know, there's no dark passage here for Daption to kind of save his AD carry. And Red, being very aggressive with his flash and goes, ends up getting punished.
Man, also on the other side, I can't believe Aspect got out of that, man. So low. But able to skirt the line. And now you got about 1,000 gold lead for Team Liquid first. Now, especially the fact that Mia has a little bit of that gold on this Aphelios.
Oh, seeing Mia on Aphelios and just other like really awesome team fight AD carries is such a good win. Such like a fun feeling to feel, especially if you are another marksman player. Seeing her perform is always like a treat. It's always something you can kind of try to learn from in terms of what her positioning is, maybe figure out what her thought process is. But they're just trying to make sure they get as many plates. You have this red-white, you slam turrets with Crescendum, and you saw Aspect start to move on down. He will lose a little bit of positioning in the mid lane, and while all this is happening, Rift-Herald is spawning, thank you to our picture-in-picture there. So they're able to start this up, and Dardoch taking this away. I mean, this sets up, again, another potential win condition for Taco where you slam the lanes with the Rift-Herald.
Engage, level 5 for Daption. That's red-white to start up the chakrams, and Daption should just go down to Mia. Another kill to the ADC of Team Liquid first.
More and more plates going over to Team Liquid first on their bottom lane, and Surdy holding it down in the top lane. Aspect making sure that nothing too spicy is happening in mid lane. This is a different win condition than maybe we've seen from TLF in a long time. Remember, they were kind of experimenting with different ways of winning, whether or not they're play through Surdy, play through Citywitty, try to go with Mia and the like, and they never really found any consistent answers. And going back to comfort, Mia now really far kind of boosted ahead.
And I love that Mia's put up in a position of success, and it's an opt-in. That's the style. That's the adaptation from game 1 to 2. It was stability for jungle, a little bit of stability in bot lane, but continue to set up Mia and Aspect for success. And so far, that's where the gold's going. That's exactly where they need to have the focus on. And so it is still about the way they transition out of this laning phase, but getting those 3 plates already for Mia, the lead is so huge already on that Noon Quiver and the pickaxe here as well, and still waiting on the coal too.
And we'll see what Taco do as a response. A lot of it was, hey, we're investing a lot on top side. But with Rift-Herald here, I wonder if Dardoch is either going to try to invest back into his bot lane to get them back to parity, or potentially even go towards mid lane. Open up Victor, who is just scaling very quietly into this game, and is going to be incredibly problematic for someone like the Aphelios, the Tristana to walk into river.
That was a trap and a half. Rovex goes down to Dardoch.
And that should just be them trying to go for the Rift-Herald here, push in this wave, get everything down. Dardoch using the Cyclone just to have a little bit of fun here, but
still here.
He just wants to make sure that Mia will not go down. She doesn't have Flash, still has the Ghost, mostly just here as a secondary support. as their plate's going to be going over to Team Fish Taco and their AD carry, who, Red, he has been a carry back in Qualifier 1 and Qualifier 2, took a little bit of a background seat compared to now Robbie Bob joining the roster, but he's still a very, very strong AD carry who, given on a really strong day, he looks like one of the best AD carries from the qualifiers.
He's pretty smart too. I know you're talking about. Like,
yeah, that's actually, funnily enough, that is something that Dapshin quoted. We had him on an interview for when they won one of their series during the qualifiers, and we asked what was the difference between him and Shogo. Like, realistically, elo-wise, these guys are going to be pretty similar. They're both high placing on the ladder. So what is the actual tangible difference? And Shogo, he's got better hands. That's just a given. This guy is insane, but he can't play in this tournament. So Red is much smarter. He knows when to play for his role. Like, hey, he knows that I can give up this wave because my team is getting up something across the map. And here now, Robbie Bob, you're going to have to survive. No flash coming up.
Trouble. Nice knockback into it. No, none of this is connected. What? He's got an impenetrable force field around him or something.
It just glances off. It's just like, oh, nope. It's like trying to put a cat like to land on its back. Nope, just flips right back over, feet first. Now Mia, she got hit.
Oh, the death sentence connects and Mia's down. Shut down to Red 2, extra gold.
Oh, and that should just be the turret here. Getting excited should mean that they do a lot more damage. And the dragon here for Team Fish Taco. Massive win.
Really impressive heads-up plays from multiple members of Taco to set the tempo here 12 minutes in. They'll get that bottom tower. They got all the gold for the bot lane, and now they also get a second dragon on the map.
All right, TLF are praying that it is one of the weaker souls. You are praying for Cloud Dragon. Even Cloud Dragon's problematic. You're praying for like
It is Cloud.
All right, well, you know, Magical says a soul's a soul, so at this point we'll take it. You know, that is a condition that they can play, and also there's a lot of movement speed now available for them. If we're going to see the Cyclone, it's going to be very difficult to get away from. And Victor as well, with the amount of slows that he has from his it's going to feel pretty nice, but for TLF, if they're going to grab this, it's going to be 4 very long dragons that aren't going to provide a ton of combat value for them.
So I will say we're getting first items across the board coming up very soon, but we obviously already have our Gale Force Kraken Slayer for the ADCs. The big thing for me is the Roa for Alorum in the top side, and a focus on the top side for just a moment while we have some reprieve, because it has been a negation, it feels like, of Surdy from the top lane from TLF, and Alorum has been a key proponent of that, keeping him in lane until it really doesn't matter because they have leads across the rest of the map. I think that's so impressive that they've been able to play through that. Even if it's a quiet top lane island, it still presents so much pressure around the rest of the map because it negates the pressure that TLF want.
Yeah, and I mean, we even saw it across the other series that a lot of our carry top laners are starting to shift towards tanks and away from some of these bruisers, away from some of these duelists. But I think it's also really impressive that we've seen from Surdy. Like, his tank play is impressive. We saw the Cho'Gath that we've seen from him time and time again. And even just the Cassante, a champion that can play a pseudo flex role in that situation, he has performed excellently. So when we're talking about expanding his play, expanding his ability to not only be a carry player, but also someone that can be a facilitator, someone who's a supplementary role to his damage carries, I think it just continues to speak upon how good of a player Surdy has become over the last year.
Yeah, and he's said he's been opting into practicing team fights and, again, the team fight setups. And that setup is going to be all important here with this Cassante pick. Try to get the backline access. Try to get an all-out onto somebody that is important or pull somebody away. We'll see how that condition comes out to as we have a little bit of mid-lane action here between the teams.
We must fight for mid-lane priority. It's going to be Taco that get it first. And one thing to note for TLF is while Robbie Bob hasn't finished his Mythic, if they find a huge team fight victory and he's able to get a bunch of evolutions, that is problematic for them.
Aspect, a little bit of over-aggression, now punished by Dardoch, and here he is to answer. That's one more smack of the stick, and Dardoch gets the kill. That sentence actually connects on the Rovex. Second activation of the Cyclone comes through. Rovex should be able to get out of this one. A little bit dicey, but the Rift Herald started back up by Taco.
Oh, look at this. Alorum found a TP, and he's on a flank. They don't know that he's quite here.
Oh, Mia.
Mia now knows.
Now you have the re-separation of both teams. They realize where the pressure is coming from. I don't think that TLF have a chance to contest this one. Should just go over to Taco.
Okay. Yeah, losing Aspect there was massive. I was going to say, hey, maybe there's something to do, but they just don't have items. Like, City Witty does not have his Mythic quite yet, and I'm wondering if they should just go for this, right? Like Dragon spawning in 2 minutes, destabilize the map for TLF. Even if they don't use this, like they have a bunch of, specifically I should say, like the Divine Sundering here makes it very easy for them to take the turret.
They do end up taking that next outer. It'll be their second tower of the game. Surdy's going to try to put some work onto this one, now being responded to by Robbie Bob in the side lane. But the thing is now, top lane is the absolute focus for this next Rift Herald at some point once it wants to be dropped. And I'm actually wondering if they want to try to pressure that after you get a little bit more gold on the backs, get a little bit more closely to that second item spike. We do have the dragon coming up, and that's also another point of pressure here, Alk.
They'll be looking for it. I mean, the dragon feels weird because it's not one. It'll be one that puts them at soul point for Team Fish Taco, but for TLF, do you really want to fight this right now? Citywitty just finished the Radiant Virtue, but do you really want to go for that? But you could just trade this third dragon for a turret play. Sorry, not turret play, but a turret here. Try to put some background focus into Aspect. Try to have someone shadow him to make sure that he doesn't fall, or if he does, you are playing a 2v2 instead. But it seems like instead they're just going to try to fight over mid lane, try to get down vision. Thank you to our observers for toggling this. It is in favor of TLF, but it's still 30 seconds, still time for Team Fish Taco to go out and clear it. And again, like we were talking about, there is a Rift Herald here for Dardoch, so I wonder where they're going to be putting their efforts into.
And that's where I was wondering if they just want to opt into that side lane, maybe even look for, 2 crashes, go into the second tier tower, and that looks like that's the play. It is spotted out, Surdy knows, so he should back off of this one, but it means that the tower is free and open for Taco.
All right, they're putting all their efforts. I think the same thing that we said about TLF, Taco recognized that as well. There's like, this is a third dragon, and it's Cloud Soul. We could just trade this for a turret. Open up the map, make it very difficult for someone like Aspect if he is going to go for that spell push. How are you going to win that if you're getting chased down by a pretty big Wukong or a Lorem's Gragas at this point?
Charge.
And yeah, now this is going to be a little bit more questionable as Surdy should be able to escape.
Trying to get the box down in time, but able to get out of that one is Surdy. There goes that dragon to TLF. The emote game coming through, but at least something secured for TLF on the map to prolong the wait for Taco.
For sure. It's short-term gold in for TLF, and Taco, they're playing the long game. They're just getting gold and not really being threatened here. I really want to see TLF pick up the pace right here, because if this keeps going on,
items. You gotta have items on double ADCs.
You need items. You need to be able to find picks. You need to be able to kind of use some of that advantage that we would have seen from a Tristana earlier on in the game. But really, it's only Mia right now that's ahead. Here we go, Citywitty. Good angle.
Catch out here. Big damage, though, onto Red. He's getting back. He's not going to get excited. Red goes down to Rovex. Mia survives, but immediately Rovex is traded back down. So far, it's a 1-for-1. The rest of TLF get out alive.
Okay. That's a winning trade right there. I traded my support for the enemy AD carry. I got TPs, double TPs out of Team Fish Taco. We have to spend some of our own as TLF, so you're kind of looking at that like, yeah, I think that's fine. It's a goal to their back pocket, and there's no objectives coming up. There is a Baron spawning in a minute, but I really doubt both of these teams will be looking at that.
And we're starting to get that. I believe now Aspect will have the second item completed as well. You got that IE completed for Mia as well. So at least you're starting to get to, not going to have it just yet. But getting to those second, third items is the important thing for the double marksman composition here. And I think executing that is going to be difficult, but you have bought yourself some time, right? We said how much that 5 minutes really means in an aspect of this, because you are trying to delay a lot of the time and get to those big item spikes for TLF. And while you are at a deficit, it's not something that a double marksman composition can't overcome.
No, for sure. And you were talking about it before, but in team fights, if they're able to play positioning correctly, they should be able to have a ton of damage. Good cast from Valorem there.
This is really good combos though from Citywitty. Still very tanky is that big old boy. He'll make it out of there.
We take those though. Team Fish Taco, they're just starting up the Baron. They recognize why is Citywitty bot lane. Let's go for a huge punish here. And now TLF, they're gonna have to answer this. Remember, no teleports coming in.
I mean, they don't really have much to speak of here. They're into the pit. Aspect is just trying to take somebody out of it. Red is gone, but now the Baron has gone over to Taco. Here comes reinforcements. They found Mia, though. Mia all by herself, and that is it. Another pick out, and now Taco, with this Baron buff, should be able to reset. Maybe not even reset. Gonna go for City Witty, who has to burn that flash. But Taco made the decisive play, and it works out yet again.
Massive
Red in
win
some
for
trouble,
them.
though. Aspect trying to get a little bit of gold back for TLF. He does have Daption right there. Gets him, though. And it's a trade back. TLF trying to go ham here. As Surdy's in the middle of a 1v3. He won't be able to pull it back. Now City Witty in some trouble, too. The fight just continues. As Dardock trying to catch him, he can't find the distance as Robbie Bob is now on a killing spree, and Taco coming alive yet again.
Oh man, what a huge Baron coming out from Team Fish Taco. They win a huge team fight. Because City Witty inserted, they thought that they could try to find that kill, did not necessarily respect Team Fish Taco's ability to do this Baron. And I mean, Aspect goes in trying to find a kill, trying to find something, but now Mia is completely left unprotected. She is one of the massive carries for this team time and time again, and her front line is not there to be able to back her up. I thought, hey, if we were going to see a team fight, Alorum doesn't have flash anymore, that should be a good sign for TLF, but she was just in the middle of no man's land and could not actually get out of there. So while, I mean, TLF, they get some pickup kills here and there, Taco are dominating this game.
Yeah, Surdy trying to pull something back there. Can't get the depiction onto Dardock that he wanted. And now, as we come back to it, the siege is alive. 1 minute and 20 seconds for the Baron buff here for Taco. And again, there's something in the water. We've said it all day long, but the qualifier teams are kicking today, and they're kicking down the front door of our provincial teams in this promotion tournament for LCS Challengers. We'll see another tower fall to Taco.
And they still have this mid lane that they can play off of. They have a mini wave coming in as well. It is getting dire straits here for Team Liquid first. They're trying to look for angles. Surdy could potentially go for a flank, but without a flash, really kind of investing a lot for the all-out. And they're relying on Mia right now, who has the Infernum to be able to clear waves. Once that's gone, that wave clear from the side of TLF is really going to be in the hands of Aspect, so no more side laning for them. They need to find a pick, they need to look for someone, and it's just not kind of generating right now here for TLF.
Now they've got so much pressure on their front doorstep here. And also something that Summer reminded us of coming into this one, if Taco win, this means that one of our teams will be relegated from the NACL regular season. So a huge moment for Taco to step up, and I know a lot of these qualifier teams have talked so much about what it would mean to relegate teams, to put them in the lower bracket, and we've seen such a strong resurgence here, but it has been the Taco gaming. It has been the absolute focus for this team where they had so much strength. They were neutralizing top side of the map. They were playing through Dardock, Robbie Bob, and Red, and it's worked out so well.
And for Robbie Bob and Daption, they would love a chance to be Challengers League mainstays, right? Like being able to play in the official league would do wonders for them. Robbie Bob, we talked about it earlier, someone who maybe has kind of wavered in some of his confidence as the years has gone by, but performing excellently now and peaking at the correct time. Where Daption, same thing. He wants to show that this team is a Challengers level kind of team. Someone that could take these Challengers teams the distance, and so far up against Team Liquid first, they're proving that.
And in this double elim bracket, you have to win those 2 best ofs in a row to make it. And now with this first series underway with them, they could step that way up. But 6K in the lead doesn't mean it's a finished deal. You've got a Dragon in about 4.5 minutes. A lot of time for Team Liquid first to get some of these items online. As soon as that third item comes on for Aspect and Mia, there's some serious pain in the game.
We have got to see it. Like that's going to be the break point, right? Like if either one of these 80 carries hits 3 items, that's going to be the point at which we need to see Team Liquid first stand their ground and take Team Fish Taco to task, because if it doesn't get better there, it's probably not getting better for the rest of the game. As Team Liquid first, they are still looking for angles into this. There's a Baron spawning in 1.5 minutes. There's a Dragon spawning in 3.5 minutes. You have a lot of time to just sit back, farm, and it'll be on Team Fish Taco to push the pace, look for objectives, look for any kind of turrets as they try to take this final standing outer turret.
Is trying to defend as much as they can for Team Liquid first, but the pressure is on as Taco take another tower. Surdy getting caught out with that death sentence, does have that unstoppable, gets back into base. Aspect is pushing side lane right now, trying to get the super minions down in time. The base defense is here though for Team Liquid first. They're able to clear through that wave well.
And right now, the problem for Team Fish Taco is that their waves are not synced up. So you saw right there, the mid lane just got taken care of by Surdy, and now everybody can just shift back up into the top lane. Aspect is coming over for this. I think you're going to give up this inhibitor turret, but it does mean that Jinx is going to be excited. They need to be able to play on the actual inhibitor itself.
Trying to push these waves off again, get that timing off kilter here. Alorm taking a decent amount of damage when Aspect showed up. But now that Aspect is here, again, that wave clear is back, and that's the strength that you can have in kind of a turtle type situation for the comp that TLF have.
They're getting punished right now. Like, Team Fish Taco, they're like, guys, we want to break an inhibitor, and it's going to be really, really slow, but because the waves are not synced up between the mid and the top wave, and even thanks to Aspect pushing out that wave, they actually can't find the inhibitor. So really good defense coming out from Team Liquid first, and Taco kind of grinding to a halt a little bit, not necessarily fully stopped on this train, but 2.5 minutes before that dragon, that gold lead is, you know, it's staying within bounds.
And we'll see if they can continue to dissuade this engage. City Witty getting caught out by the death sentence, but he's still the tanky tree. The front line there is now the waves will be crashing again a little bit off kilter. You see Taco just holding it, waiting, trying to wait a little bit longer. But now something else that has come to task is that Aspect has to respond to super minions in bot, the crash in mid as well. And City Witty having to flash away from Taco, but it looks like they want to turn back onto this Baron. And TLF find a little bit of reprieve, but their enemies are about to be cloaked in purple.
They just spent 2 minutes just like sitting in front of their turret. They're like, well, actually we can't do this. So we're just waiting for the Baron anyway. So now Surdy is going to lead the charge. I mean, Maokai is nowhere near this. It seems like if TLF were going to play for an objective, it seems like they're going to be playing for an Elder. I mean, Dragon's up in a minute and a half. I think if you take this from Taco, you're like, cool, that just means Elder's the great equalizer, right? So TLF is actually incentivized to give up this next Dragon to try to get that and pray that in the next 6 minutes or so that Team Fish Taco do not try to end the game on them.
And I feel like Aspect's going to be very, very close to that third item. We already got that Lord Doms completed for Mia, so big spikes already coming across for TLF. They've made it to somewhat of the promised land. Just got to find the execution now as well. That defense was really, really nice. They were able to stop the inhib takes of top and mid. But now we got another 2 minutes and 15 seconds on this Baron buff siege from Taco.
All right, again, the waves are not super synced right now, so they're going to have a bit of an issue with pushing on multiple different lanes. The bot lane inhibitor is going to respawn, so we're building. We're only building here, Lennon. Like, for these guys, for TLF, they had such high expectations coming into the split from outside, you know, just being just internet pundits in general. I know for the actual Challengers League broadcast, they were very high up on this team as one of the teams that could potentially not get relegated, but right now, they're kind of fighting for their lives. They're taking every moment with happiness, saying, look, we've got something. We're finding somewhat of a winning strategy. We're staying in this game. And Team Fish Taco are not actually able to push the state of the map right now. And we're just waiting. Now with this bot wave crashing,
nice catch out.
Finally.
TLF, they found him. They've got Dardock down. Red is here, though. Red's about to get excited. If Aspect goes down, that's huge. Alorm wants to get in there, but can't do it. The cast comes through. Damage back from Mia, though. They got some response here. TLF ain't going down without a fight. They got 4 members still here. Moonlight Vigil comes across, but can't hit it. Red is in some trouble now. City Witty wants to go in, but that goes golden for Red. And now City Witty getting go so low, and Red gets excited. Which means that Taco, moving forward, should be able to siege down this tower. They still have a minute on the Baron buff.
They have the home guards here. Surdy, you just need to be able to recall here, brother. If you're not able to back, you're at 40% HP Cassante. You still have all out, but I think it's some risky business. They're only going to lose a single inhibitor. The kills going over to Taco, giving some more gold. It's going to be Soul going over to Team Fish Taco, but again, if you're on the side of TLF, you're waiting for this Herald.
Trying to get the Elder Dragon at this point, trying to get to that extra 5 minute stay and maybe get to an extra item or two across the board. You get to see kind of the bend and break strategy here from TLF. And Taco are no holds bar. You got a third item completed there for Alorm, and it is a Rabadon's death cap.
And we've been talking about, you know, all of the different champions here. I mean, specifically Surdy on this Cassante, but Alorum, someone who's been playing in semi-pro for such a long time, had LCS time, been playing in Tier 2 for such a long time, and while he has kind of stepped away from maybe recognizing that he'll have the limelight, he's said it before, but he is really enjoying playing competitive. He always loves competitive sports, whether that be soccer or, playing here in NACL promotion tournament. I think it's really cool for him to be kind of like this gatekeeper saying, hey, you're playing up against me. You've got to show that you're better than me and my team. Otherwise, hey, I'm going to be looking to be promoted.
Yeah, it's crazy because it just feels like he's been able to tie Surdy's hand behind his back, right? And that's such a thing to say against Surdy, who typically finds a lot of leads in his own lane. But it is speaking to the stoicness of Alorum. The fact that they've used 2 games to flex this Gragas around, and they pulled it out game 2 to Alorum, and it's working out so well. A final tower will fall in defense of the inhibs, and this should be an excited Red going back into the fight. But they've already caught out Dardoch now. A man down, the depth charge goes in on the Robbie Bob, but here comes Red now. Moonlight Vigil connects, and a lot of damage goes down. You got City Witty in the front still trying to take out Alorum, but he's getting tanked down now himself. But you've got Surdy, who caught out the side, and the double ADC is going to survive. Mia! No, the shutdown goes through to Robbie Bob from the grave.
The Shadow Flame, the Leandries, all doing work, but it is a 3 for 3. And because they went double marksman, Lennon, they still have Tristana available. Aspect with this huge Bloodthirster shield should be able to kind of stem the bleeding for a little bit, but it is triple inhibitors open now for TLF.
Red will get excited here as well. The chopper's down. Alorum goes back in. Surdy taking a brunt of the damage of Red. He gets eyes on the targets here, but the re-engage doesn't go through. So much stress. You could cut it with a butter knife here.
Yeah.
And it's incredible.
I was a little scared there because, Red doesn't have summoner spells, but I really think he could have stepped forward. There's no all-out from Surdy. There's nothing that TLF could do, but that pressure is getting to them. It is Red, who is a completely new AD carry. This guy has not played a lot of competitive. He played a little bit for a collegiate team, but not much. Similar to Levitate in that sense, where we have an incredibly talented AD carry that just diamond in the rough, just came out of nowhere in solo queue and now is able to play. We kind of saw him kind of bumping around in some of the open tryouts, Team Liquid, going across in even the native ones, but like Red is that guy, and with more time, more competitive games on stage, I'm hopeful that he can be a little bit more comfortable with playing to his limits.
Now we got 4th item for Mia and for Red, but got 3rd item for Aspect now. So on the table are the double ADCs really kicking alive here. But I think something else that's really coming alive is Robbie Bob on this Victor. A classic pick for him. Not only the pick itself, but the way that it plays. And he's already 4-1. He is looking for blood, and he will be such a menace to this team and spacing for TLF. Because now it's Taco onto the Baron.
They are going to grab the Baron yet again. They're trying to find this play onto Alorum. Know that he does not have the ability to try to go in, but Mia now has a lot of chakrams. They're all going to be used to clear the minion waves here. We still have 2.5 minutes before that Elder. Taco are going to have to do a lot of good work here to make sure that they don't even get to that point. I think they're just going to try and end off of either this top lane wave or this mid lane one coming in. They've also got a bot wave coming in. So TLF against all odds here. Backs against the wall. Loser goes down into that lower bracket. If they can find a win, they can tie up the series. But it is all eyes on Team Fish Taco. What can they get away with?
Against the rope, but not out yet. One last punch to give. Will it be a haymaker? You've got TLF setting up the Nature's Grass. They're into the fight now, but it's City Witty getting focused as well. He's in some trouble. He's still pretty tanky. Mia gets choked down for the Mega Death Rocket, and here comes Taco. They got Surdy on the side. The Death Set is connect, but Surdy finds one. Aspect needs to get out, but he can't. The Cyclone is huge, and Red is on fire, but Mia Mia hits, and Mia hits home. You got a little bit of a focus now. The inhib re-spotting in mid lane, but it's still the minions that you have to focus on. And Taco, they've got one more tower to take down.
Wait, they can win this though. I mean, the inhibitor is back up in mid, but Mia right now, she has really good guns to be able to deal with this.
Get a little bit of healing.
Yeah, Infernum plus Runons is very difficult, but her frontline.
That might just be the death sentence for this first series. We'll see that damage back though. That Infernum does some work. Is the fire hot enough for Mia? Dardoch down, and Mia is popping off.
The prodigal AD carry returns to the roster to try and save her team from relegation. She is holding a huge defense, but Robbie Bob is up in 5 seconds. His teleport will be available. I think Team Fish Taco just have too much. Everybody from TLF.
The only one standing here in the upper bracket. One goes down. It's not enough. They get
wait!
Is it? Allure him onto the Nexus. It's not enough. Oh my God.
Oh, we're only wishing. If only a Jinx ultimate could hit structures.
No.
Oh, wait, no.
Oh my God. Taco Gaming. It's the day of qualifiers, baby. Welcome to the leagues and welcome to the fight that was put on by our qualifier teams today. Incredible stuff. Incredible.
Team Fish Taco and Tony Top. Best of luck up against each other in a best of 5. TLF now, they're going to have to try and at least stay their hopes up against Fly Fam. Oh my God, what?
It's a banger. It's upper bracket, by the way. This is still double elim. But what this means is that we will have a guaranteed relegation from the regular season of NACL. Incredible stuff, but props to both Tony Top and Team Fish Taco. Chef's kiss, 2 O's across the board. We're going to sit to a break. We got to calm down a little bit. We got Smacks taking up an interview right after this, so don't go anywhere.
Hello, everybody. We are back with the Verizon post-game interview, the second one of the day, but the first one with the victorious Robbie Bob, mid laner of Team Fish Taco, fresh off a 2-0 against Team Liquid first. Yet another qualifier team making it continuously through the upper bracket. Robbie, that was quite the finish with the minions at the end. Tell us what was going on with your team as the minions are taking down the last hits on the Nexus.
Well, we were pretty, I guess we were kind of nervous, you know, like we kept like throwing a little bit. The 80 carries are getting gold right on their side, like the Shoshana Philios. And like, we just gotta end, you know, like we got 3 inhibs down, like just end the game, right? There's no way they can stop it. And then we all died and we're like, all right, well, hopefully the minions just end. And then we're like, okay, wait, the minions might end actually because Cassante just can't stop. And we're like, all right, there's like a big sigh of relief, you know?
All right, yeah, less pop off, more just relieved that the minions have got your back in the end. You know, I love that one. Always got to give a shout out to the Winions in moments like that. Robbie, you've been a player who's played in a few of the different sides of the NACL League throughout this entire split, and I figured out that your very first match of the split was also against Team Liquid first, and also against Aspect, kind of mirroring now to where your first matchup of the promotion tournament is against Aspect again. Is there a sort of like a rivalry building between you and Aspect or people on this team, or is it just another game for you?
Well, I mean, I guess I can't really say rivalry. Like, I mean, when I first saw him join TL first, I was like, has he played the game in the past year? And I guess he has. I mean, I guess he has. But, like, I mean, he's probably a chill guy. I've never talked to him once. I mean, I've talked to other mid laners, right? Like, you know, I love, like, Sudsy, for example. Like, you guys had him on last interview. But,
yeah,
for Aspect, I haven't really am. But he's definitely a pretty good player. And it was, you know, pretty fun laning against him. Like, and I mean, that's kind of funny that it was my first match in NACL that I versed them too. But you know, seems pretty good player. So no rivalry. I mean,
okay.
I can't have rivalries out here. I'm not like that.
All right, yeah, kind boy Robbie Bob, I love that. You mentioned Sudsy and how you saw him on the stream just a bit ago. You were talking to me a bit about how you were watching the first series, but not like fully watching it. Tell me a bit more about how that was for you before getting into this game.
Well, I mean, like 2 hours before our match, well, you know, like at 3, I have a lab that, well, at 2, I have a lab, like 2 p.m. that goes till 5 p.m. or CST. So it's 3-hour lab, unbearable, but I'm in there. Don't know what's going on, checking my phone, seeing, wow, Tony Top is actually winning. Do I really have to leave this lab? And they're just stomping game 2, so I leave 30 minutes before my lab's over. Hopefully my group members are not pissed at me, but I think they're a little mad. They might be a little mad, but we'll make it work. So then I, speed walk back home and, get ready to play. Not really much to warm up, but I felt ready.
Yeah, I mean, you looked ready on the Rift as well, and if those group members in your lab need proof of why you had to leave early, you can now show them the stream, you can show them the interview as well, and hopefully they'll, they'll feel a little bit more sympathy for you. Hi, everybody. I'm sorry for taking Robbie away from you. See, there you go. You can show them that clip. Speaking of Sudsy, I asked him the same question in his interview, but I got to ask you as well. Was Maryville harder to play against than Team Liquid? Give me the comparison there for you.
Well, the first game against Maryville, definitely pretty hard. I mean, definitely pretty hard. The first game against Maryville, like we were pretty down in gold, but I was playing a pretty OP champion, I would say, at the time. He scaled. I got 30 minutes, and then ASO 1v9 the game, and then Maryville kind of has a tendency. They lose one game, they might lose the rest. They're great players, don't get me wrong, but that's just kind of a tendency. So second game felt pretty similar, I would say, to playing against TO first. But the first game, Maryville might have been a little harder, but Maryville's pretty good, so it's understandable.
All right. Again, being kind with it. I love that. Respect to all your opponents. Always humble, Robbie Bob. I love to hear that. I got another question for you, unrelated to the games. You're a mid laner. You've got a Silas, I'm sure. Are you gonna play the new Mage Seeker game?
I mean, I won't lie. I was already playing it this morning. Like, I mean,
how is it?
Well, I love those type of games. I love pixel games, and I mean, I was kind of bummed it wasn't a roguelike, but I'll take an RPG for sure. And I mean, it's pretty fun. I mean, I like Silas. I like when he steals an ultimate. He goes like ha 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 and then steals the R, right? Like that makes me happy. And then I did it in the Mage Seeker. I'm like, that makes me happy. So
beautiful. Well, I won't leave you too much longer. You can go back to playing Mage Seeker and celebrating with your team. Thank you so much for the interview, Robbie Bob. I hope you have a phenomenal rest of your day. And good luck in CLOL as well, by the way. I know that's starting up this weekend.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the interview.
Of course. We're going to go back.
Here.
Oh, yeah. It's a pleasure talking to you, Robbie Bob.
Robbie
We're back.
Bob, you're amazing!
With the casters. And I always love interviewing Robbie Bob. Always love talking to that guy. Both interviews today. Absolutely wonderful guys. I had a great time doing that. And, speaking of two wonderful guys, it's been a great time being on the stream with both of you today as well.
I miss this so much. It's been a blast for the past, but I couldn't ask for anything better. It's been awesome.
Yeah, it's a very nice time. We've got a bracket to show you all, updated with the most recent results. And boy, oh boy, gentlemen, we've got Maryville, Tony Top, and Team Fish Taco all moving on to the upper bracket. And those second two, big implications there, because that means one of the qualifier teams is guaranteed, at least one, to make it all the way to NACL.
Let's go!
Let's go!
I think we had like an early prediction as to how many, I think it's on the Twitter account for NACL, how many teams did people predict would actually make it out of this tournament from the qualifiers? Yeah. And it's definitely going to be one. We may see more than that.
I think we will at this point, Lennon. Yeah.
That's the craziest thing is it has been not only the kind of doubters being hushed early on in this tournament, but also the way it's happened. It's it's not even like today. It was 2-0s. They blew them out of the water. These teams are on fire, and it is incredible to watch. Again, putting on the stage, we heard from Lunasi earlier, players from the qualifiers don't get a lot of time on stage, don't get a lot of time in the presence of, being able to be seen on these channels, and it's an incredible moment to step up, and they've done so every time.
Mm-hmm. It's been a phenomenal tournament the last couple of days, and there are still five more days.
So many days
of the tournament. Tomorrow, AoE versus Maryville University. I mean, that series going to be phenomenal. If you liked the two teams that won today, Team Tony Top and Team Fish Taco are going to be playing on Thursday as well. One of those teams going to be qualifying for NACL in the summer. Gonna have a great time watching those. I'll be in the chat. I hope everyone else is as well. But that's just about it here for the stream. I have one more special announcement before we close it out. Today is not just any other Tuesday here, gentlemen. It's also our producer Jay's birthday.
Yeah!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Jay!
To Producer Jay holding down the fort with us throughout the entire stream. We love you.
Jay.
Yes, absolutely
I don't know
amazing.
how you make us look so good on camera, but you find a way.
But yeah, everybody in the chat, be sure to wish Jay a happy birthday, and we will be seeing you again tomorrow. Same time, same channel, same tournament. See you tomorrow.